Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Venus Williams and her future in tennis. Nothing is impossible. At 45 years old, Venus Williams made it clear that she doesn't want to hang up her racket at the moment, although when questioned about the future, the American remained uncertain during the recent U.S. Open 2025, where she competed in 3 categories: singles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. The American player explained that she was unsure about what she would do in the coming months beyond certain commitments to tournaments she had already agreed to attend. However, what she is sure about for now is that she still has the motivation to compete. It is now, during an interview with Parade, when she leaves the door open to continue playing competitively in the coming years. Will she be at the 2028 Olympics? Nothing is impossible, but I would have to maintain the motivation to stay on the court for that long, and we'll see. Nothing is impossible, Venus repeated during the conversation, leaving open the possibility of participating in the upcoming 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. The younger of the Williams sisters played her last Olympic Games in 2016 in Rio, Brazil, where she won the silver medal in mixed doubles, although Venus has 3 individual gold medals in her collection from winning in 2000, 2008, and 2012. Although she had been out of competition for a long time, and some believed she had retired, Venus made a strong comeback at the U.S. Open 2025, the American Grand Slam, where she gave a tough fight in the first round against Karolina Muchova, although she couldn't clinch the victory. The future of Venus Williams. Where she did win more matches was in women's doubles, where she partnered with Leylah Fernandez, reaching the quarterfinals in New York. Apart from this American tour consisting of the tournaments in Washington, Cincinnati, and the U.S. Open, little else is known about Venus's future, although she hinted after her defeat in Flushing Meadows that she had some commitments with events to fulfill at the end of this circuit season. We will have to wait until the next season to find out if the winner of 14 Grand Slams will resume activity in Australia, if she will wait for the grass season as she did 2 seasons ago in 2023, or if she will continue with her plan to be present at nearby tournaments, namely Indian Wells, Miami, and the Summer U.S. Tour. In the golden afterglow of her U.S. Open triumph, Aryna Sabalenka stood at the summit of women's tennis, a force of nature carved in raw power, fierce will, and unrelenting ambition. Her forehand had become a statement, her serve a weapon, and her roar a symbol of defiance and fire. But as the calendar turned its page to the China Open, the roar faded, replaced not by defeat, but by silence. An injury, not a rival, had drawn the curtain. The announcement was as swift as it was sobering. Aryna Sabalenka has officially withdrawn from the China Open due to injury. The words fell flat, sterile in their brevity, unable to capture the emotional weight behind them. There were no dramatics, no press conferences with trembling voices, just a short statement, clinical, like a comma in a sentence that was meant to be an exclamation mark. But to the fans, the tennis world, and Sabalenka herself, it meant more. The body keeps the score. Champions are often asked to be machines. After all, their greatness seems inhuman. The endurance, the composure, the way they rise when others fall. But the body, even one finely tuned like Sabalenka's, is not a machine. It is a vessel of sacrifice, a ledger that keeps score of every sprint, every dive, every sleepless night spent icing knees or nursing sore muscles after another 3-set war. Her injury, reportedly a nagging shoulder issue aggravated during the latter stages of the U.S. Open, had finally demanded what no opponent could ever force from her: retreat. Sabalenka had powered through Flushing Meadows like a storm. Her victories were not gentle. They were emphatic, built on blistering serves and ground strokes that painted the lines with daring precision. But even storms burn out, and when the final trophy was hoisted, when the champagne dried and the interviews faded, the pain remained. The China Open, prestigious and eagerly anticipated, became a casualty. The choice was not one of fear, but of foresight. To play injured would not be brave, it would be reckless. Aryna knew it. Her team knew it. And perhaps, for once, she chose sustainability over stubbornness. The weight of winning. Sabalenka's journey to the U.S. Open crown was never just about tennis. It was a reclamation of identity, a battle with the ghosts of past inconsistency, self-doubt, and an emotional roller coaster that had often kept her brilliance at bay. The victory in New York was as psychological as it was physical. In a sport that exalts composure, she had often been punished for her fire. Critics questioned her temperament, her double faults, her meltdowns under pressure. But in 2025, she silenced them all. She matured not by extinguishing her fire, but by learning how to channel it. Her emotion became a weapon, not a weakness. But with victory comes a different kind of pressure, the pressure to keep winning, to prove it wasn't a fluke, to wear the crown without letting it weigh you down. The China Open was her chance to extend her reign, to ride the momentum, to assert dominance in the post-Slam era. And yet, here she was, absent, sidelined. The China Open without its queen. Beijing buzzed with expectation. The tournament was meant to be a clash of titans, a proving ground for the tour's best. With Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and Elena Rybakina all in the draw, fans were salivating at the thought of another Sabalenka-Swiatek showdown. It had become the rivalry that defined the era. Power versus poise, grit versus grace. But the queen would not take the court. In her absence, the tournament would go on, as tournaments do. The draw would adjust, seeds would shift, and someone else would hold the trophy. But something intangible would be missing. A spark, an edge. Even her rivals acknowledged it. Swiatek, when asked about Sabalenka's withdrawal, offered a quiet nod and said, "It's never the same without her. She makes all of us better." The crowd missed the visceral thrill of Sabalenka's game, the sound of her grunt, the way she pumped her fist after an ace, the signature spin as she walked to the baseline between points. These weren't just habits, they were theater. They were part of the reason fans fell in love with her. Beyond the headlines, in a small gym far from the spotlight, Irina worked in silence. Rehab is not glamorous. It's tedious, repetitive, often painful. There are no cameras, no fans, no adrenaline. Just time, patience, and the quiet discipline of healing. In those moments, stripped of glory, a different kind of strength emerges. What the world sees is the withdrawal. What it doesn't see is the resilience it takes to sit out, to listen to your body when your spirit wants nothing more than to fight, to say no to a stage you were born to command. That is a victory in its own right. And in that space, Irina was growing again, not as a champion, but as a person. Injury doesn't just test your body,